Hello everybody. If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. When you have listened to and read the story, if you liked it, please leave a meaningful comment with your thoughts and feelings about it. If you would like to have a story from a specific genre, say a mystery, a thriller, a horror, or science fiction story, whichever, please leave a comment and let me know the type of thing you would like. Thank you. Short Story 302, The Haunting of Ashwood Manor. Advanced. Sarah had always been fascinated by old houses, and Ashwood Manor was no exception. Built in the early 19th century, the grand estate had stood empty for decades, its once ornate façade now a shadow of its former glory. The townsfolk whispered that the manor was haunted, but Sarah, a sceptical historian, was determined to uncover its true story. It all began when she received a mysterious letter. The letter, written in an elegant cursive script, invited her to explore Ashwood Manor for her research on Victorian architecture. Intrigued, Sarah packed her bags and set off for the manor, located on the outskirts of the small village of Brambleton. As she approached the manor, Sarah was struck by its eerie beauty. The overgrown gardens and crumbling stone walls gave it an air of melancholy, as if it were mourning the passage of time. She pushed open the heavy iron gates and made her way up the winding path to the front door. Inside the manor was even more enchanting. Dusty chandeliers hung from the ceilings, and antique furniture stood shrouded in white sheets. The air was thick with the scent of aged wood and forgotten memories. Sarah set up her equipment and began her exploration, eager to document every detail. She started in the grand foyer, with its sweeping staircase and intricate woodwork. As she moved through the room, she took notes and photographs, marveling at the craftsmanship of a bygone era. But it wasn't long before she began to feel an unsettling presence. Shadows seemed to dance at the edge of her vision, and she often felt as though she were being watched. One evening, as she was reviewing her notes in the library, she heard a faint whispering. At first, she dismissed it as her imagination, but the whispers grew louder and more insistent. Sarah's heart pounded as she followed the sound through the darkened hallways. It led her to a small hidden door at the back of the manor. With a mixture of fear and curiosity, she opened the door and found herself in a forgotten wing of the house. The air was colder here, and the whispers seemed to echo from the walls. She continued down a narrow corridor until she reached a dimly lit room. In the centre of the room stood a large, ornate mirror. As she approached the mirror, the whispers grew louder, and she could make out fragmented sentences. Find the truth. Uncover the past. Free us. Sarah reached out to touch the mirror, and as her fingers brushed the cold glass, a vision flooded her mind. She saw a woman in a Victorian dress standing in the same room, staring at the mirror. The woman seemed to be in distress, and Sarah felt a wave of sorrow wash over her. The vision shifted, showing scenes of the woman's life, her joys, her sorrows, and the tragic events that led to her untimely death. Sarah realized that the spirits of Ashwood Manor were trying to communicate with her. They wanted her to uncover the truth about what had happened all those years ago. Determined to help, she delved into the history of the manor, poring over old newspapers, letters, and diaries. It took weeks of tireless research, but eventually Sarah pieced together the story. The woman in the vision was Eleanor Ashwood, the original owner of the manor. She had been wrongfully accused of a crime she didn't commit and had died in despair. Her spirit, along with those of others who had suffered similar fates, remained trapped within the manor's walls. With this knowledge, Sarah held a small ceremony to honor Eleanor and other spirits, acknowledging their pain and pledging to tell their story. As she spoke the final words, the air in the room seemed to lighten, and a sense of peace settled over the manor. Sarah left Ashwood Manor with a newfound respect for the past and a determination to share the true story of its inhabitants. The haunted manor had become a place of history and healing, its spirits finally at rest. Vocabulary notes. Dreary, meaning dull, bleak and lifeless, depressing. Example, on a dreary autumn afternoon, Professor Eleanor Moore sat in her cluttered office at the University of Cambridge. Similar words, gloomy, dismal, bleak. Façade, meaning the front of a building, especially an imposing or decorative one. Example, the grand estate had stood empty for decades, its one ornate façade, now a shadow of its former glory. Similar words, front, exterior, face. Sceptical, meaning not easily convinced, having doubts or reservations. Example, Sarah, a skeptical historian, was determined to uncover its true story. Similar words, doubtful, dubious, questioning. Eerie, meaning strange and frightening. Example, as she approached the manor, Sarah was struck by its eerie beauty. Similar words, spooky, unsettling, creepy. Enchanted, meaning filled with delight, charmed. Example, inside, the manor was even more enchanting. Similar words, captivated, fascinated, charmed. Ornate, meaning made in an intricate shape or decorated with complex patterns. Example, dusty chandeliers hung from the ceilings and antique furniture stood shrouded in white sheets. Similar words, elaborate, decorated, intricate. Melancholy, meaning a deep, pensive and long-lasting sadness. Example, the overgrown gardens and crumbling stone walls gave it an air of melancholy. Similar words, sadness, sorrow, gloom. Unsettling, meaning causing anxiety or uneasiness, disturbing. Example, shadows seemed to dance at the edge of her vision, and she often felt as though she were being watched. Similar words, disquieting, unnerving, disturbing. Cryptic, meaning having a meaning that is mysterious or obscure. Example, her search led her to a series of cryptic letters exchanged between Chaucer and an unknown recipient. Similar words, enigmatic, mysterious, obscure. Labyrinth, meaning a complicated, irregular network of passages or paths in which it is difficult to find one's way. Example, it was a labyrinth of narrow, dimly lit passages. Similar words, maze, warren, network. Fragmented, meaning existing or functioning as though broken into separate parts. Example, as she approached the mirror, the whispers grew louder and she could make out fragmented sentences. Similar words, disjointed, broken, incomplete. Untimely, meaning happening or done at an unsuitable time, especially too early. Example, the tragic events that led to her untimely death. Similar words, premature, early, inopportune. Story written by Copilot AI, image created by Designer AI. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you.